Hi, ladies. Hi, audience. Hi, gentlemen. It's Palm Springs Cindy, and I am coming to you live from my home. And the title of this video is Homecoming Fiasco because it was truly a fiasco. You are not going to believe. You are not going to. It was a comedy of errors that had us laughing so hard, that had us laughing so hard that well, okay, here it goes. I'm telling you from beginning to end. So yesterday there was a process for me to leave the facility, and the process was, sign papers, have a simple evaluation. Did I have someone home to take care of me? So I passed my evaluation, and my insurance sent a wheelchair home with me, and then they sent a transport to come and get me, a van. So the van said that they would be there to get me This is the beginning of the fiasco. The van would be there to get me anytime between 6 and 9 o'clock p.m. So I was like, okay, fine. So I just got cozy watching TV and getting things ready to get it, the helpers, the people that work there helped me get my things in plastic baggies and got my medication together and okay, all that. So fine. So the man does come. He comes like 6 o'clock, I'll say. So it's dark. And so I get wheeled into, well, you haven't lived. You have not lived until you have been wheeled into a van sitting in your wheelchair. Now, it's kind of like putting a baby in a car seat, only the baby. So they lock me into my wheelchair, lock the wheelchair wheels. Then they have these big straps that come across, and they tie like right here. They click right here like a baby would. Babies would be in a car seat. And then they hunker you down into the floor of the van. And but first they get you on that thing, that thing that you wheel your wheelchair and then it goes, stops, but of course it shakes, boom, boom. And then it goes, boom, into the van. So every boom, of course, is I was terrified that it was going to hurt me so badly. It didn't, because I was so locked into everything. But I couldn't clear the wheelchair entrance. So I had to have all the legs from my wheelchair had to be disassembled. Then I had to hold my legs up as high as I could so that I could clear the entrance into the wheelchair. Okay, and then put your head down and put it down to the right as low as you can put your head. Okay, so I did all that, got into the wheelchair, got everything strapped in, and I get home. Now here's where the fun part begins. The ride home was fine. He was a good driver. We went over bumps, but carefully, and because I was so locked in with so many seat belts, I was fine. So then we get home. Now, there was a surprise waiting for me when I got home. And Maria was here with her daughter, Hilda. So I told Maria, open the gate so that the van can go up the gate and, up the driveway, stop, unconnect me, get me down from the ramp, open the bedroom slider door, and I can wheel into the bedroom, and she had everything prepared for me to sleep actually on the couch because that's where my big TV is. That's where I wanted to sleep. So, well, unbeknownst to us, Maria got to the house and said, there's a big truck blocking the driveway. So the transport van could not drive up the driveway. And I have steps leading up to my house, 4 steps. And the steps are like this. Like there's pavers, 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 step. Pavers, 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 step. Pavers, 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 step. Like 4 times. So I thought, okay, no worries. I'll get down from the van and I'll just stay in my wheelchair. And then the man can just lift me up over the step, because the steps are not that high. They're like that high up, I'll say. Well, that didn't happen. So I got out of the truck, out of the van, in my wheelchair, and we could not get my wheelchair over the curb. We just couldn't do it with me in it. So I said, well, let me get out of, now remember it's dark. I said, let me get out of the wheelchair. I'll hold on to the mailbox. And then you get the wheelchair up over the curb and bring it close to the mailbox. And then I'll use my good leg, which is how I'm moving around, and I'll swivel, swivel, swivel around, scoot around, get my bottom into the wheelchair, and then you can take me up the steps. So that's what we tried to do. Well, I could not get from the street. You guys, I couldn't get from the street. I couldn't get up the curb from the street to swivel my butt into my wheelchair. So then we tried this way, we tried that way, but I just couldn't do it. So don't ask me how I couldn't do it. It just didn't work. And there was Maria, Hilda, Mr. Van Driver, and me. So I said, okay, ixnay this idea. I'm going to put my butt on the ground and scoot myself back to the front of my door, and I'll hike myself up over the steps. And they were like, no, you can't do that. Keep in mind, it's freezing cold outside. I said, how else am I going to get in the house? So I scooted my butt. Of course, my clothes were getting caught underneath my butt. My leg was killing me because I was tired and I couldn't position myself within my scoot position in a way that was even halfway comfortable. So I scooted just for about 2 minutes, and the tile, the pavers were cold. So I said, the driver says, I have to go to the bathroom. So the driver comes in the house and goes to the bathroom. Then in the meantime, Maria and Hilda are standing by me, and they got me a sweater to put on or whatever. So while the man's in the bathroom, because he wanted to fix it, he was like, we've got to solve this. I've got to get you in the house. How can we do this? Well, it ain't going to happen. So I called 911 and I explained. Finally, they said, what's your address? We'll be right there. So this big fire truck came, and they didn't ask me questions because I felt so silly. And I said, oh, I'll be the one out in the front of the house sitting on her yard with a broken leg and a few friends. And the lights will be on. The front lights will be on. So the guys get out. There's like 8 let me back up. There are like 8 hunka burning loves firefighters that get out of their fire truck. And they are superheroes. They are, wait, let me back up. They are gorgeous superheroes. So I am very glad to see them, but I'm embarrassed. So, so they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick you up in your wheelchair and we're going to put you in your house. So I said, no, 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 you can't pick me up. I weigh too much. You'll drop me, blah, 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 blah. And they said, ma'am, we do this all the time. There are 8 of us. We know what we're doing. We're going to go slow. You're going to be fine. So I was like, okay, I'm in your hands. I'm in your hands. So they could not, they could not get me through the door. So they tried to take the door off the hinges, which they could not do. So they had to finagle my chair. I have these really pretty but different front doors. Okay, they finagled me in such a way, move this, move that, get this out of the way. So you stand here, you stand there. We'll pick her up this way. We'll hold the wheelchair this way. And they did. And so then they got me down to my den. They couldn't get me in the den. So they had to take the door off the den hinges. My arm's getting tired of holding this camera. They had to take me off the door. They had to take the door off the den hinges, which they did. Then they say, where do we put the door? And I'm like, I'm so dingy by this point. Like, I can't make a decision. So I said, go put it in the laundry room, but not in front of the washing machine. Put it in front of the whatever. And they did. So then, then they had to move this big piece of furniture, this big TV armoire. They moved it over, and then they moved over my couch, another couch that's in my den. And it's because they wanted to give me as much room as I could have in order to get my wheelchair in my den and maneuver it and get to the bed couch, the couch that we turned into a bed. So then I practiced going into my master bedroom and going to the bathroom in there, which that worked out fine in my wheelchair. I fit in there in the door, I fit through the door. Then the guys were cracking up because they were saying, well, what else can we move? What else can we move? What else can we do to help you? And they said, we could probably, punch a hole in this wall and make this whole opening bigger. Well, of course they were kidding, but we got carried away on how to make sure all the doors and the walk-throughs were going to be big enough for my wheelchair. So then, they made sure everything was okay. They were just darling, and they were so helpful. And so then I was getting a little scared. They were moving so much of my furniture. So then they left, and then Maria and Hilda stayed with me, and we practiced. I said, I need a big stick to turn this light off when you guys are gone and leave these lights on. And I could get to the bathroom by myself, and I had a little table with my water and my pills and handy wipes and stuff like that. But by this time, you guys, I was really hurting. My leg was killing me. So I got on the couch, and I tried to get comfortable, but I knew it was going to take me a while to figure out how to because I have to scoot back into the couch and then reach for the covers. And I know that sounds like so elementary, but it's a big deal. And once I got settled, I could not get back up. I could not have gotten back in my wheelchair to go to the bathroom if my life depended on it, and I didn't. I used the bedpan before Maria and Hilda left, And, I just, number one. And I know TMI, but whatever. So but of course I got wet. Not too bad though. So then we laid some towels down. So then Maria and Hilda left. They made sure I was okay. I had everything I needed. And by this time it was 9-ish or a little later maybe. And I was ready to fall asleep. So they left and I did. I had taken all my meds. I had done what I needed to do and I fell asleep. I did, during the middle of the night, I could not get up to go to the bathroom and they left a stack of towels for me because I knew I would need them. And so I used my towels during the night and it was fine. I had my medication right there, like right here on my little table, so in my water, so I could take my medication in the middle of the night. And then I fell asleep and I didn't wake up until about 9 this morning. And then Maria came at 10. So Maria, this morning, Maria and helped me like when I was scooting up the stairs on my back side, that's when Maria started cracking up. And then she laughed and then looked at me and then I laughed and then it was like so stupid. It was like the three stupids trying to help the broken leg woman. I mean, it's just so absurd that it was funny. Okay, so now Maria comes this morning and she fixed me the best cup of coffee in the world. And bottom line, this is what I've done. I took a nice spit bath. I curled my hair. I put makeup on. I lotioned. With Maria's help, she totally cleaned my bed. We decided to put plastic trash baggies, line the bed. Duh, why didn't I think of that? Line the bed with trash baggies, then put sheets on top of that and my blankets on top of that. But I think now today I'm using the toilet. I can get in there easily. It's not a problem. And I paid some bills and so Maria's going to go to the grocery store. She's at the grocery store now. That's why I'm making this video. And we're just learning how this is going to play out at home. But anyway, I'm home and I'm checking in with you guys and I may check in with you later. So I have some friends visiting me this week. They're texting me and I'm like setting a little schedule, oh, can you come Thursday? Can you come Friday? Whatever. And so it's going to work out. But I'll check in. I'll let you know how I'm doing. So far, so crazy. And anyway, you guys, I love you. And until our next conversation, bye-bye.